So this presentation is just going to be a quick little tutorial on how probably best to take notes if you struggle with taking notes, because what you really want to do is you don't want to take too many notes. That's not effective. And you don't want to take too few notes to where when you go back and look at them, you don't really have any good idea of what it was that you were even doing or saying in the notes. Now, just to be clear, this is for when you're taking notes out of a text or a book, some kind of written stuff. It's not how to take notes on a lecture, although it works virtually the same way, but this is a little bit different. So what I've got here for you, or what I want to show you, is here would be an example of the 3 paragraphs in the textbook. Okay. Now, when you go to take your notes from this, what you really are trying to pick out is what are the most important pieces in here. And really, there's no substitute for reading this information. And once you read it, then you can kind of judge better what's really most important. Okay. Now, one of the strategies is there are always a ton of words in here that really are not important to the main point. What they're there for is simply when we write, we have to, it's the way we speak in complete sentences. We add in transitions, we add in all kinds of words that connect one thought to another and those kinds of things. And those words aren't important, but they help us form a normal flowing language, right? And so what you can do is, as you go through and you read this, by 1914 Europe was divided into 2 rival camps. Okay, I kind of think, there's 2 rival camps. That might be important, but by 1914 Europe was divided in, I can start to cross off some of this stuff, right? By 1914 Europe was divided into 2 rival camps. So I've got 2 rival camps. I need that. One alliance, the Triple Entente, included Great Britain, France, and Russia. Okay, so I better have this, the Triple Entente. I don't really need this one alliance part. I can get rid of that. The other, known as the Triple Alliance. Okay, so the other known as, what do I need that for? Right, Triple Alliance, here's the other group, included Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy. Okay, Austria-Hungary's declaration of war against Serbia. Oh, okay, so now it's telling me that Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. That's probably important to know. And what did it do? It set off a chain reaction within the alliance system. Well, I don't even know what that is, so you know what? I can cross that off, but I do know it's important that Austria-Hungary had declared war on Serbia, right? So I've got that. The countries of Europe followed through on their pledges to support one another. Oh, okay. Well, they have these alliances and they follow through. But what I can get rid of is the countries of Europe. We know that's what we're talking about. They followed through on their pledges. Well, okay, and we know an alliance is to support one another, so I don't need that. As a result, nearly all of Europe soon joined what would be the largest, most destructive war the world had yet seen. Yeah, okay, great. But that's not really telling me anything. It's almost kind of just wrapping up this paragraph. I'm going to cross that out. So what I end up with is Triple Entente, which was Great Britain, France, and Russia, right? The Triple Alliance included Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy. Probably need that. Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. Probably need to know that. And everybody followed through on their pledges. So when I write this down in my notes, I'm going to simplify, right? I'm simplifying all this. I've crossed stuff out. I've got really 2 rival camps. I know I need the Triple Entente, which is one of them. I've got the Triple Alliance, which is the other. And notice I'm listing who those are. If I just had Triple Entente minus this, it wouldn't be enough. I wouldn't remember who the Triple Entente was, or Triple Alliance. I wouldn't remember, so I need to get that in there. I'm just getting rid of all the extra words, right? Austria declares war on Serbia. There we go. I just kind of restate that. Countries followed through. I didn't have to say on their pledges. I know what I'm talking about, right? So I've got it. So I was able to really shorten all of this down into some easy, quick little statements, but really I've got the entire essence of that. Now, as you go through text, you don't really want to be literally crossing things off, right? But you make a mental cross off in your head as you read it. You go, okay, what's the important piece? Oh, 2 rival camps. So I'm just going to forget about this, and I'll jot the notes down. Triple Entente. I'm not literally crossing these things off. As you get better at this, right, and you are getting enough of the information and enough of the detail to make sure later when you go back and look at your notes, you know what we're talking about, then it gets a lot easier. It just takes a little practice up front. So if I start with this, the Great War begins. In response to Austria's declaration of war, Russia, Serbia's ally, began moving its army towards Russian-Austrian border. Okay, I read through this. I know I can cross off in response to Austria's declaration of war. You know, Russia, okay, great. Serbia's ally began moving its army toward the Russian border. Okay, Great War begins. Here's that title. In response, Russia moves troops to Austrian and German borders. You know, I keep reading, expecting Germany to join Austria. Russia also mobilized the German border. I've got that included. To Germany, Russia's mobilization amounted to a declaration of war. On August 1st, the German government declared war on Russia. Germany upset, declares war on Russia. Okay, great. Russia looked to its ally France for help, right? Germany, however, did not wait for France. France jumps in. Germany declares war on France. Great Britain joins in support. That wraps that whole thing up. But I'm able to really get good notes. You notice I'm writing out, but I've got the detail, and that's really what I want to do.